Hi everyone, Frederick here, Simple System Trading. This video is a case study. We're currently on the Euro-US dollar pair on the 60-minute chart. So it's a bit higher time frame setup. And the case study is based on the setup that's discussed by Dante in his EFL Edges for Ledges webinar. One of his webinars. Here's his website, Google him, you'll find him. And there's all the details there. I asked Tom if I could use his setup for a demo video and he agreed, so that's what we're gonna do. And this setup is based on a one trade a week, based on a level, price level break in a certain time period. And the exit is either stop out or a Friday afternoon exit. So that's what we're gonna demonstrate here with the automated trading study. It's got all the features you need to construct this. There will be a few lessons in this video, and also I will leave the chart book below the video so you can test things yourself. So let's get this out of the way and start with the setup. The setup is based on a weekly open. Right, you see this green line. It's made with a built-in share chart study that we'll discuss right now. So it's the period of open, high, close variable period. So it's in the built-in share chart studies right here in the P, right, this study, and I set it to use the weekly 1 week current period, and I only want to show the open, and the high, low, and close I just set to ignore. So that gives us the price level, the open of the week price level. And in this case it's Sunday 5 o'clock, depending on the time zone you use. That time zone is watched from this period onwards to see if we have a break. If we have a break, that will identify a signal. And if we would be in a trade here and not stopped out, we want to get out on Friday afternoon. It's basically what we see here. So we need to identify the level. We just did that. We need to identify the time period in which you want to signal, and I need to identify the bar where we want to exit. In this case, the Friday afternoon bar. So I'm going to go through that. It's basic, simple alert condition stuff. I will highlight a few things and refer to the documentation of share chart as well. And then we're going to set up the Autotrader with a few mentions on things to be careful on. With that, let's dig into this little highlight here. This is the time period where we want to check for a signal condition. So I named that signal period. It's a color bar based on alert condition study, built into share chart, very powerful study, always use it. I named it, I set enough bars to calculate, and this time I set the subgraph to a color, transparent background color. The transparency level is set right here below. The alert condition is based on a few things. Since we hop over the midnight time here, we basically have an OR condition looking for the Monday evening time and the Tuesday morning time. So that's basically the time where we want to have a signal check. And to use that, we use a few built-in share chart functions you can use in alert conditions. So there's weekday, there's bar date, there's bar time, there's time. If you want to go through that, I will show you the page here. If you look for alerts and scanning in the search bar here, you will find this page, and that has a lot of functions in there you can use. One of them is bar time. I use that in this example. If you click on this zero value date values, you will go to a different page. It's about spreadsheet functions. And there's a lot more functions there you can use as well. And I used weekday. And the weekday it returns an integer value. So in this case, Sunday is a 1 and Saturday is a 7. So Sunday is a 1, Monday is a 2. So that's what's being used here in this alert condition. So we have the weekday of the current bar date equals 2. That's a Monday. And the time, the bar time, is greater or equal than a time value of 1900 in the evening. And the bar time is smaller or equal to midnight. So if you use that, then you basically define that time period where you want to do business. So that's the time period. Go through it yourself and have a look. So this pops up a values window here. If we hover over this highlighted area, you will see that the signal period has a color bar value of 1. And that's what we're going to use in the signal condition. All right. If this sounds like abracadabra to you, you should really check out one of the previous videos on the SST AT, and I go into a little bit more depth on that. So we have defined now the area where we want to do business, where we want to signal. So we can go into the long signal condition now. So we have a long signal condition, basically when we are in the signal period and the price breaks the open level from below, we're going to have a long signal. So we dive into that alert condition. It's inside the signal period, that's ID2 SG1 equals 1. And we're going to cross from below the close price with that open price of the week. ID1 is that period study we discussed. SG1 is the open price. And that's basically being crossed from below. If that happens, we're going to color the bar blue, and that signifies a long signal. Subgraph value will be 1. That's the long signal. Short signal is similar. It's named short signal. We have a similar alert condition also inside the time period, and we have a cross from above. The close price crosses from above the open price of the week. If that happens, we signal a short. So we color the color bar here with a purple, pinkish. And we have to set a little bit different here, a custom value output on this condition to -1, because we need a -1 in the AT to initiate a short trade. That's just the rules I set on the AT. So that will identify the short signal. All we have to do then is the Friday exit. That's this highlight here. Also a color bar based on alert condition. With this condition, based on a weekday, it's 6, it's Friday, and we have basically the 12 o'clock bar, since we use a 60-minute bar here. 12 o'clock bar being highlighted. If that happens, the SG1 here will be 1, will be colored, and we can use that in alert condition or in the AT. All right, now we have the basic setup of the signal study and the exit condition. We are ready to have a look at the AT settings. So let's skip through them. We're going to take longs and shorts. We have a session defined, so it's going to be on all that time. We're going to use a stop order, but we're not going to use a target order in this case. Since we are not using a target order, we have to set the trade size here. Use the default of 1. The max position size is still good as a default of 1. We will not be having more positions on than that setting. And then the time in force of orders. Really important setting here. The default is day. So you really need to set it to good till cancelled if you want to keep trades for more than 1 day. So if you want to keep trades overnight, you got to set it good till cancelled. Else your trade at least your attached orders will be removed at the end of the day. And that will bring you, possibly have you in a open position without a stop order. The AT will detect that and try to flatten your position. But since you want to keep this trade on for the whole week, you need to set good till cancelled here. There's the reference to the signal, the long signal and the short signal, so you can set that, and that's why you see we name the studies here. It's easier to set the correct one. The evaluation of the signal will be at bar close, and we're going to enter with a market order here. There's other order types supported as well. Depending what you choose, you'll have these sub-settings to take care of. We keep it simple, use a market order when the bar closes. Then we have the exit option. Since we set the exit option to be either the stop out, or if we're still in a position the Friday afternoon, we identified the exit study signal. We want to evaluate that intro bar, and it's set to that Friday exit signal we identified earlier. We created that. So if that's detected, we will be taken out of the position on the Friday, right? We don't have targets, so we don't need to set them. We have a stop, so we set the stop to be the high or low of the signal bar with a little offset here of 1. So when you go long, the stop will be placed below the signal bar, because short will be placed above the signal bar. And that's what this does. Then we have everything under control. There's one more setting here, the max number of daily trades. We set that to 1 because we only want to have 1 trade, and that's what needs to be done. So with this set, we can do a back test already. We will see that we will take that long trade here, and that will be it. It's very important to understand that the AT with the max number of daily settings of trades setting is based on your daily trade statistics. And you will really need to make sure that you understand that. Your start time is basically the time where the trade statistics for your day will restart. So the start time on your chart settings is really important there. Since we set that to 1700, at 1700, this bar right here, the daily trade statistics will be reset. So that 1 trade a day setting I made in the AT is good for this setup, because it falls within that daily bracket, and will be good because we limited the signal to be fired within a certain time period during that week on a certain day, and the trade statistics are reset just before it. So that's good. So in this case, we will take the long. You will get stopped out of the long there, and that will be it. In another variety, you could say, well, I want to take that short here again and take that long here again as well, and you will end up with the long being successful. But that's up to you, right? Let's have a look at just a simple bar-based backtest here. Turn that AT on, we run a bar-based backtest. You don't need to be connected to the trade service for that. And we'll see those trades being issued. And you see here that you only took that long trade here, and that was it for the week. And we took that short trade here and got stopped out. That's that for the week. No trades here, 1 trade here, 1 trade here, the long, the short wasn't taken, as discussed. right? So that's the basic setup of this this strategy. Unfortunately, there's no successful trades here, but that's also discussed by Tom. You have to have a larger sample size to really have a good look at how this performs, and in his webinar he discusses that. So have a look at that. You really need to do your own research on this. Let's have a look at a little modification. Say you want to take every trade here, right? Say you want to take a trade, make sure you enter every trade. What we would need to do then is basically make sure that we reverse when we are in a trade, active trade, and new position is and a new signal is received. We're going to reverse. And what we also want to do is set that limit, that daily limit, back to the default and turn it off. So that will make sure that we will enter every trade that's signaled. And then you get different results. Have a look at that. Right here you see every trade is being issued. And you see here as well, you get that short, you get stopped out, take the long right here, and you have a little success. So it's a way you can play around with certain settings, change your setup. Maybe you want to have different conditions for your signal. There's a lots of ways to do it. I hope you learned something from this video. Check out the chart books below. If you have any questions, just hit me up and we'll get back to you. Thank you. Bye-bye.